Well, it's about 6 years ago we started investigating the market opportunities in virtual sports. At that moment we saw a couple of products out in the market which we felt had some flaws when it came to realism of how the virtual sports were presented. And this is where we kicked in, where we decided to do better, and that was the starting point for us, where we thought having a more realistic product, a realistic presentation of different virtual sports would really give us a good proposition in that market. Connecting to what I said before, realism is what is the biggest principle for us, which comes with two parts. One part of the realism is the video, is the graphic presentation of the sport we do. And the second one is the game mechanic. Like our teams in football, for example, they all correlate to real teams, which means the odds, the prices you get for different markets, they are very close to realism. So a punter who bets on real football expects the same odds, the same prices for the virtual product. And this we guarantee with close to real teams and close to real presentation of the markets. First one, and this is what we introduce at this show, is the World Cup. We have extremely good experience with the Euros, where we did a virtual Euro Cup, European Championship Cup, which was very well perceived by customers. They loved it because they put it on before the real cup started, and the punters loved it. They could test their luck before the real thing happened, and it was very popular. So we decided to do a World Cup. Once the draw by FIFA was done, we could put together the real groups. So our World Cup reflects exactly the group stage of the real World Cup, and then they just continue. World Cup in our virtual version takes about 1 hour, so every hour you have a new World Cup. That's one product. The other one is virtual tennis in play, which it's an innovation in the industry, because we show a full real-time tennis match. There's no breaks, there's no stops in between. So we have all the action that happens when watching a real tennis match we see in our virtual product. The players preparing for the serve, playing the rally, then going back to the next position. Emotions, everything is shown in our virtual product. Again, combined with prices that are like you would expect in real. Existing tennis is pre-match, which means we have two players and we show a summary of their match, and you can bet on the pre-match markets, like who wins the match and similar. With in-play, we have a whole bunch of additional prizes that we can offer. Like in real tennis, about 80% of betting happens on in-play, not on the pre-match markets. So we could discuss if we should have known this earlier. We actually did, but we started with a pre-match. Now we have in-play tennis, which we feel is a guarantee of success, because it reflects exactly how the punters behave in reality. Just mentioned, tennis we think is the right sport to start with. We did market research, we talked to operators, and more or less all of them said, yeah, if you do in-play, start with tennis, because that's the most popular in-play sports in the world. But looking ahead, for us the question is what comes next. So tennis is done, it's out, ready to integration. We have done some cricket motion capturing already. We are looking into baseball, which will largely depend on what happens in the US market. If it goes into regulation, we will likely do baseball, and then there's a bunch of other sports that we could do. But for us it's tennis now. We will see how it performs and then make a decision on the next sports for in-play.